So in this video, we're going to create an engagement audience. These are people who've engaged with anything on your Facebook page, on your Facebook business page. Did they like something? Did they comment? Did they share? Any action that they took on a piece of content on side or inside your business page. We want to keep track of those people so that we can show them more and more content. This is how we nourish that relationship, right? So we know by experience that most people are not just going to see one piece of content from you and then make a purchase, right? So we need to continue showing them more and more content, valuable content, positioning ourselves as the expert, as the authority in our field. And we do that by just keep showing them more and more content over time. And then over time, they start to like us, they know us, they start to trust us. And then when the time comes and they need our product or service, they're going to think of us first because they've seen so much content and we provided them so much value, right? So the first audience, or this particular audience, it's called an engagement audience. Anybody that engaged with anything on your business page, right? So first things first, we need to get to our audiences tool. So that's inside Meta Business Suite. So I'm on my just regular profile, upper right-hand corner. I'm going to click on my little picture and then go to Meta Business Suite. It's going to bring us to our Meta Business Suite page. If you want to know that if you're in the right place, it should say Meta Business Suite up in the upper left-hand corner, and then your business should be listed right under that, right? So if you're seeing that, you just go to All Tools, and then under Advertise, we want to go to Audiences. All right, so once you are inside Audiences, what we want to do is we want to click this blue Create Audience button, and we're going to create a custom audience. Our sources is going to be a meta source, and we want to choose Facebook page, and then hit Next. And we want to make sure that the right Facebook page is chosen. For this one, I'll use Reborn Media Company. And then the events, if you click on here, you'll see that there's a bunch of different events. For this particular audience, for a local business, what I would suggest is that you just choose the default. Everyone who engaged with your page, so that anybody that liked something, commented, shared, if they've done anything with any one of your posts on your Facebook business page, we want to track those people, right? So under retention, we want to change this. 365 or a year is the max. Chances are somebody that saw a piece of your content a year ago is not going to remember seeing that content. So generally speaking, what I like to say, 90 days, 30 days, you can test these two out. You can make an audience for both. But 90 days is generally the furthest that I want to go out. After 90 days, whether they remember seeing your content is questionable, right? So we'll choose 90 days, give it an audience name. So this, I'll just name it Facebook Engagers. You can name it whatever you want to, whatever's going to be a description and tell you what this audience is. Again, I'm going to choose Facebook Engagers, and that is it. That is literally how to create an engagement audience. So I'm going to hit Create Audience, and you'll see that we have an option to create a lookalike audience of that. What I would suggest is that you do that. So a lookalike audience, basically what it's going to do is it's going to look at everybody who is engaged with your page. So it's going to build an audience of those people. It's going to look at them. Facebook has a bunch of data points on every single user on its platform. It's going to look at your Facebook engagers, and then what it's going to do is it's going to go find people that are just like them. They're interested in the same thing. Maybe they make the same money. Maybe they liked some of the same pages. They're in the same groups, things like that, right? So it becomes a pretty powerful audience. In order to do that, so obviously we want to make sure that the source is right. If you're clicking on create a lookalike audience right after creating an audience, the source should be correct, but we just want to check. Make sure that Facebook Engagers, that's the source of our lookalike audience. For the location, you want to choose your country. For me, I'm going to choose United States, and then select the audience size. I'm going to keep it as a default. I'm going to create only one lookalike audience. In the audience size, I'm going to keep it as a default of 1%. You'll notice that as you go up, we can go all the way to 10%. This is 27.9 million people. If you're looking at it at a 30,000 foot view, you might say to yourself, well, why wouldn't I choose 10%? It's giving me almost 30 million people. Well, we want to be, we want to look at this in reality, right? So we're basically telling Facebook, hey, examine the source of people that we're giving you. Examine the data that you're giving us, and then go find people that are just like it. If we're telling Facebook to go find 30 million people that are just like this audience, it's going to be pretty hard to do, right? So basically, basically, the lower this number, so we chose 1%, it's already 2.8 million people. Obviously, this is the United States. This number is going to be whittled down. If you're running an ad for a local business and you're choosing your radius, it's obviously going to only be choosing the lookalike audience is only going to be coming from there. But basically, if you think about it, 2.8 million people is already a lot of people. So Facebook is going to be, it's going to examine the audience. It's going to go find people that are just like that. If we do any more than 2.8 million people, it's going to start to, it's the larger the audience, the less likely they're going to be exactly like your audience, right? So already it's got to find almost 3 million people. If you ask it to find 30 million people, it's going to be very like, okay, so that's close enough, right? So the smaller the audience, the more likely it is going to produce some results for you. So I'll just keep it at 1. We're going to only create 1 and then just create audience. So just like that, we've created 2 audiences, our Facebook engagers, and then a lookalike audience of those engagers. So it really is that easy. So in the following videos, we're going to create a few more that are really important in my opinion for a local business. So yeah, I'll see you there.